All right, everybody. It's that time again. It's time for a channel update. Now's the Q2 channel update, highlighting retail innovation. I'm going to hand it over to my buddy, Rob Mesmer.
All right.
Thank you, Lance. Right. Matt, we're here again.
You better believe it. Another quarter.
It's amazing. I can't believe another quarter is underway, and we should really thank our partners because it's been off to a great start.
Yep.
The three key metrics that we look at are new logo generation, MRR acquisition, and revenue. And all three of those are over 100%. So thank you to our TSDs and our partners because you're the ones making it happen for CBTS and trusting us with your customers, and we really appreciate it.
And the size of the deals and complexity is growing too, which is just great for us.
It's just a great place to be in the channel. So want to give a quick update today, but before we get started, please enter to win. Fill out the form. If you ask a question below, it increases your odds of winning ×5, which is always helpful. And what you're winning is a $1,000 client or team dinner with CBTS at your, wherever you want it to be. You come to Cincinnati, we can come to you, whatever you want.
Yep. We've already done a couple of these, so yep.
But our focus today, we got two folks with us, Josh and Chris, and we're really here to talk about retail.
Yeah, some focus on what we've been doing. As you talked about, we've actually kind of been doubling or tripling down on retail and what we're doing in that space. So we wanted to bring these two gentlemen in who've had a lot of experience on our side and the retail side. So
yeah, so to that end, we have seen so much success in retail, and I think our partners have as well in their business. And it's one thing to have products that cater to a specific vertical. It's another thing to go deep and be able to talk with clients and help partners really be that expert beyond the typical UCaaS, CCaaS, SD-WAN, fiber discussion, but really go deeper. And that's what Josh Lackey, who's our retail account executive, is leading that effort along with Chris Carl, the senior account consultant. And they're here to tell us a little bit about what is underneath those layers of products that are already a germane fit for retail, but how CBTS is embracing that.
Yep, absolutely. I did want to kind of just remind the group, our partners here, that, there still are the technology pieces that we use, right? We're going to talk about some things past technology, but a lot of people, a lot of partners have seen this slide, kind of our 5 pillars of some of the big puzzle pieces of technology that we use to help build kind of a branch of the future, a store of the future. And it really ends up being a kind of a custom cloud that we build for a customer, really of using, again, these components possibly of UCaaS, CCaaS, SD-WAN, cloud security, these things you see on the screen here. And that's important, right? You've got to have the technology base to be able to control the applications, to prioritize the applications, to get to third-party data centers, third-party cloud applications. But I think one of the things that I'm excited about you guys bringing to the table here is talking a little bit about how what we're finding is the conversation is going past the technology. The technology enables a lot of things, but that conversation is really kind of going wider and deeper than just the bits and bytes or pieces that we might put on the premise. So talk a little bit about kind of what some of the things you're seeing on the retail side there, if you want,
Yeah,
Chris.
absolutely. And thanks, Rob and Matt, for having us on here. So the retail experience at CBTS is a lot deeper than some of those base solutions that we've been doing, and you guys have been helping us drive very well. We're seeing customer use cases where we can partake and we can help you sell these solutions around use cases such as business analytics, looking at traffic patterns in stores, understanding the customer experience better, bringing to bear technology solutions from CBTS into your client base, where you can help them not only leverage all those existing solutions, but build upon that and play a part in that retail discussion. And CBTS has been doing a really good job in this space, and we're finally getting to the point where we're socializing it a bit better, in my opinion. So we partake a lot in helping customers build that base technology as well as future-proof. We help them look at the way that their businesses are evolving and put technologies in place that allow them to do things to capture more spend from their customers, understanding the different ways they want to interact with that retailer, as well as understand how to drive costs out of the model. So we're starting to align our solutions base around a lot of those themes.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about some of that. But one of the things I wanted to bring up, and you and I were talking about this as we prepped for this meeting, is that even some of the things we're seeing aren't really even about technology. They're about logistics and coordination, helping kind of spec out and design hardware.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about, this is a very large,
Very close to me, yeah.
Yeah, you were involved with this, a large multi-location, craft and fabric chain that we did a lot more than just installing technology pieces. So talk about that.
Yeah, this particular customer had the intent of creating what they called the retail store of the future. And the guts of that was understanding how they could operationally change and enhance that customer experience. The whole idea with their model was to increase dwell time, the amount of time that a customer simply is in that store. That's why you put milk and bread at the back of a grocery, right? It's so that you pass everything else, you have more opportunity to put more things into the cart. This customer is struggling with the infrastructure technology to some extent, but more so around enabling those use cases. So we took a look at their operational model and said, what's getting in their way? What is keeping them from doing these more proactive things of looking at enhancing that customer experience? And it was simple things like, how do I deal with warehousing things to dispatch technology to the stores, from cameras to point of sale units to thin clients driving computers within the store, the back office compute stack that was running their point of sale equipment. We did a complete rollout for them, 2 stages. One was that base level. It was, all the plumbing, as I call it, the things that we're really good at. We took care of that back office stack with a software-defined appliance-like solution that rolled right into every one of those 800 stores.
But when you say that back office stack, one of the things I thought was interesting is this particular customer actually had servers on site.
They did.
Their applications needed servers, needed technology, and so we helped design that stack, figure out how to place it, how to install it. So I want to make sure that the partners here understood that this particular customer wasn't going to a cloud-based POS. They still needed some help on building server technology at a particular branch, a particular location.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot out in the field. You have a lot of SaaS providers, cloud applications, as you said, Matt, but you also have this need for survivability in the event that that store needs to exist on its own. We can put in all the HA and SD-WAN and all those technologies, but there are situations where they still need to be able to take a transaction. So you'll still see that in-store compute, absolutely. And we took care of all the deployment. We pre-imaged all that equipment. We kitted it. We warehoused it. We project managed the dispatch of that, did the field tech on site, and we did that in a couple waves. So if you walk into this particular store, you can probably figure out who the logo is, right? That point of sale equipment with the poles they mount on, the fixtures they attach to, all the cut counter where you get fabric, all those interesting pieces and parts of technology, even down to the signage. That's all CBTS provided and designed.
Okay. That's a great story.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things is we really focus on this as a vertical is, and what we've talked about in our prep discussions, and we've seen it, is retailers look at the technology problem many times through the same lens. And now we really are understanding that lens so that when a new opportunity pops up that's brought by a partner, we can really speak the language of the retail. We can speak retailese.
We can, and I like to think that we've added expertise into this specific retail team to be able to have that business level conversation. Put aside the technology, understand what their goals and objectives are, and then let the technology fall out where we feel that we can help them.
And we're going to talk about this later, but I want to kind of just give a preview. We're going to talk about a partner advisory council, retail advisory council we're put together. I want you to mention later on.
Yeah,
Josh.
absolutely.
So, yep. All right. All right, so let's talk then a little bit. Let's get a little bit into kind of the next generation technology. Talk a little bit about what you've been seeing of kind of how shopping and the retail experience is changing than what we maybe saw 5 years ago.
Yeah, many of you are experiencing this firsthand, but the reality is that retailers want to put their products and services in front of you in any way that you would like to consume that. And they want to give you that customization feel without adding a huge amount of overhead. So they're leveraging technology to do that. The ability to build apps with augmented reality to allow you to see what that couch will look like you see here on the slide, in your living room in a certain color before you go ahead and buy it. Or the ability to say, hey, is it going to fit? Right? Is this table going to fit in my new dining room? As my colleague recently had an experience personally. But the other part of that is AI. we've got some content in here we're going to share with you, but we're on the AI train in a big way when it comes to retail. Customer service models are changing. The way contact centers are addressing customers is all being aided by AI to deliver upsell, cross-sell, and problem resolution to a customer much more quickly, thereby improving customer satisfaction.
Which comes back to, though, the technology stack again, right? Because if you're going to build these new applications that are handheld, et cetera, then my phone applications got to be able to be connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth.
All
oftentimes
relies on
Bluetooth
it.
signaling, right? So talk a little bit about, some of the things you've been seeing on, yes, we're installing this technology stack, but what's happening around Bluetooth, cameras, some of those things that you've seen.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of customers take that network infrastructure that CBTS is implementing into your customers and leveraging that to garner traffic analytics, how the customer interacts with the store, what store shelves are they frequently, when did they pick things off the shelf versus not, understanding traffic flows, traffic patterns. When it's a quick serve, like a drive-through, we understand when people, we can put technologies in place that help understand why did they get out of line? How often did they get out of line? Is it because of backups? Those types of technology enablements start with little things like the ability to put beacons in stores and understand where people are, but also augmenting camera technologies. The idea of loss prevention.
That's one of the things I want to talk about. Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, loss prevention is one of those big use cases that has evolved into loss detection. It's not so much about prevention. It's about understanding, with all that video streaming being captured, to be able to depict a specific concept going on in the store and correlate that to say, hey, that's a threat. Somebody's walking out the door, they're going by the self-checkout without actually scanning an item. Those types of scenarios are starting to lead us to offer different types of solutions on top of our traditional offerings.
That's one thing that excites me, particularly in the Meraki stack, really, is the camera API.
Yes.
To be able to have, there's a whole ecosystem now of partners that can come out and even take a look, the theft detection not only from customers, but even employees. I saw some pieces the other day about literally being able to keep track of somebody running a cash register and matching that back to the tickets that were going through that cash register to make sure there wasn't theft involved with that cash register and that employee.
It's also asset theft, too. The ability to track these devices because they're all Wi-Fi attached. We can understand that, hey, that device is not where it should be in the landscape.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just if I could, just to quickly jump in here and kind of piggyback on
Please.
some of the things that you're talking about, Chris, because we're covering a lot of really great points about from a technology standpoint, and I think this is kind of coming through in some of the messaging that we've been covering here. But the technology is really just one piece of the equation, right? It's I think there's a lot of service providers out there that can deliver a lot of overlap in terms of the services that we bring to our retail customers. But I think that one of the things that really sets us apart and makes us unique is looking at the 25-year track record that we have working with, and we'll see here in a couple of slides, some very large national and sometimes global retailers. And that track record of experience has given us sort of a wealth of perspective that allows us to communicate and deliver the value of these kinds of technologies in the terms that a retailer is going to care about and resonate with the kind of business challenges that they're focused on, such as theft detection, theft prevention, to where we can deliver that value proposition in a manner that IT or executive leadership is going to resonate with.
Well, I'm going to show, as I always do, the multi-tool slide here in a little while about some of our expanded services. But Rob, one of our biggest retail customers over the last couple of years, we've seen these services now expand into patching, some server management. Talk a little bit about how one of the things that's, I think, great about CBTS is that we can help you go deeper and wider in these retail customers too.
Yeah, I mean, many times the tip of the spear is the traditional services that the channel's used to, the UCAS, CCAS,
SD-WAN.
network as a service, SD-WAN. But what we found that's great for partners is when then they get to the security discussion, we've already got our MSPA in place with your customer. And so layering on another piece of service is very easy. Plus, at that point, we're trusted within leadership at that customer. And so we've seen a really good growth path within retail because we've proven we can do it. Usually it's limited staff at the retailer. So they really see value in using CBTS. And then once we've delivered, we can help our partner expand the portfolio of services.
Yep, absolutely.
absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about AI. It's changing.
What's AI?
What is it?
Never heard
You can't go an hour without
Has that
hearing
been in
it.
the news?
Is this Twitter? Are we on Twitter right
You're
now?
doing it right now.
Okay, all right. It's changing the way we do work. It's changing the way I run my desktop. I actually sign up for a group called Perplexity AI that takes multiple, GTP feeds or whatever, and it helps me respond to RFPs. We've got an internal GTP, custom GTP that we've done for CBTS, where we can use that to help respond to RFPs, build proposals, et cetera. But talk a little bit about kind of what you've been seeing in the discussion of AI out in the retail side.
Yeah, we're seeing it firstly in the customer experience realm, whereby customers are interacting with systems for shopping advice or for wayfinding to get around. And I pick on IKEA, not one of my customers in particular, but you think of a large format store where it's very difficult to get information. They're leveraging AI models and self-service kiosks to not only give information, but also correlate information. So, hey, I want to find this picture frame. Well, while you're at it, these things are going to be of interest to you. The AI technology is starting to make product recommendations, and that information on interaction from the customer is feeding back to what should be in the catalog, meaning new products. When you think about store experience, the store associates, we've got incredible people working at these retailers, but at the same time, we want to enable them to do their jobs better. AI is that crutch in a very positive way, so that they can bring up product information very quickly. They understand the customer's buying cycles, their history, what they might be interested in. So as a store advisor, that's feeding back into the retailer in terms of capturing more spend. And then ultimately on the employee productivity side, when you want access to information, right, from all the internal systems, AI is even pulling data there where it's relative with the right wrappers, security, making the retailer's visibility into their business better. It's helping with the overall performance of the business, and it's helping with that employee productivity and retention.
And I know that's one of CBTS's strategic directions right now, particularly on the Microsoft AI side. So yeah, those are things. It's new to all of us, right? But one of the things I wanted partners to understand is that as we talk about delivering solutions into retail, it is, can be logistics. That can be a great value. Helping understand on the camera side detection, these can be great values, but also that journey into AI, we're poised to help their customers explore that as we all learn this. So,
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit then, about some of the track record that we've had. We've been very fortunate. You see quite a few names up here. And we've been very lucky, I think, to learn a lot. As you mentioned, Rob, kind of our experience, et cetera. But Josh, talk a little bit about the Retail Partner Advisory Council and some of the things you've seen there, because I'm excited about what we're going to learn with that.
Yeah, no, I love this slide because, if you look at it, you see a lot of logos that you've probably encountered in some way, shape, or form in your day-to-day. But really, with regard to our retail pursuits, they represent our greatest asset. And that's our customers, our retail customers. Because really what we're doing here in terms of, what we're trying to accomplish with retail, it's twofold. It's what are we good at today that our retailers are consuming from us and that they're happy with? And how can we take it to market and empower our partners to deliver those services to their customers? But it's also, how can we continue to innovate and be relevant to our retail customer segment, both existing as well as net new? And so we've got a lot of smart people internally helping drive some of those decisions. We look at the industry analysts. But what we've done is we've also compiled a retail advisory council consisting of IT and executive leadership of some of our most notable strategic retail customers, some of which you see here up on your screen.
Yep.
And that allows the opportunity not to just give our customers a forum to share best practices and connect with industry peers, but allows us the opportunity to ask those questions about, what are you challenged with? What's on your roadmap? What do you see happening in the space? And what do you want to see from a partner like CBTS? What are the gaps out there and how can we help fill them? And so that not only gives us the information or the insight that we need to drive our operations, but those are insights that we can then take back to our partners to help empower them to be more relevant and compelling in conversations with their customers.
Yep.
I see this as very powerful for CBTS as well as for you as partners, because we have incredible logos out there looking at. Some of them participate in the same segments, but they come at it from different angles. So we're constantly getting different perspectives, which help influence our go-to-market.
We're also seeing our OEM partners start to focus on this. You're getting ready to go to a big Cisco conference, right? With a number of the retail sales and technical overlays, our team, their team. We're seeing some...
Yeah, you talk to the Ciscos of the world, the Junipers of the world, talk to partners like HP and Lenovo, obviously. A lot of folks out there are pursuing retail in a big way, and we're exploring all those synergies and how we can bring the most compelling and relevant solutions to market and delivering value alongside our partners to the end customer.
Yep. All right, good. Well, I do want to I always like to throw this slide in here, right? This is a message that we've been delivering the channel now for, I don't know, 6 months or so, Rob?
Yep.
And really the idea that, at CBTS, we want to be that multi-tool. And I think you've heard a number of different things that we can bring here. We want people to understand that, not only we can deliver those kind of best-of-breed OEM solutions, but if it comes down to one-time engagements, network assessments, security assessments, staff aug, these kinds of things. I know that we won a retail deal about 6 months ago, Rob, where it was 900 stores. Part of that rollout was they wanted some staff aug on the PM side for the first 6 months. And we proposed bringing a staff aug person in there, and then they would eventually roll over into our team after the installation was done. There's a lot that we can bring to the table on this kind of multi-tool idea that how do we help you, the partners out there, kind of go wider and deeper in that customer, or even how do they get in that first time? You walk into that first retail customer and they're like, yeah, we know we need to solve this with the store of the future, but right now I've got a $100,000 problem buying some licensing for Red Hat or CrowdStrike or whatever those things are. We can help them go and kind of put that first toehold into a customer and then go wider and deeper after that as well.
Yeah, I think the other important thing is that all of these logos that are best of breed OEM providers are in the boat with us on this. And so when a partner brings us an opportunity, we're ready to do a POC, right? Mm-hmm. We can do a POC with pretty much everybody on this list. So that we can prove to that business that this technology works.
Palo's a great example of that, right?
Yeah.
The channel has seen us come in, both feet on the Palo messaging. We've been given that the last 6 or 9 months here. And Palo is completely on board to be doing POCs, et cetera. So I'm excited as well. We've been seeing more and more Palo opportunities where the channel's realizing, wait a minute, I remember that old CloudGenix product and it was a heck of a product, but now let's bring in some other security tools around that CloudGenix offering. And so Palo's been very successful, and they're willing to do POCs as well.
And we were Partner of the Year for 2023, I believe.
We were, as a matter of fact, Managed Service Provider of the Year, yep. We do have a question here that came up. It said, how can I engage a developer who is building out acres of land to make a city center? So no stores, restaurants, offices, but would like to position to be a vendor of choice for that retail. Well, that's a good question.
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah, we would like to help with that. I mean, one of the things, we don't put it up here, but one of the things that we have had experience with is doing distributed antenna systems, DAS systems for facilities. So I'd say really just get a hold of Rob or I, your channel manager, and let's talk about it. But being able to, enable a facility with solutions and connectivity for those people who move in, we'd love to talk about
Build a program, shared service model.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions out there that have come up? Nothing? Okay. Rob, is there any kind of parting thoughts we want to give the team here? We did, like I said, we wanted to come in and show some of the retail experience we've had, introduce you guys to Chris and to Josh. They're completely at your disposal. We would love to, engage. I mean, Josh, that's one of the things we talked about is that, go ahead and say we'd love to have you.
We've covered a lot of stuff here today. So if there are things that have resonated with you, maybe you have a customer or use case top of mind, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about our retail story holistically and what we're doing, we welcome the opportunity to connect and share best practices about what we're hearing, as well as what you're trying to accomplish, right? It's sort of that better together story. How can we work in lockstep with you to create and deliver value to the end customer?
And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. One of the things we pride ourselves in the channel, right, is about how do we stay in our swim lanes? How do we help make our partners heroes? So even out there, you partners, if you've got one part of a solution for a retailer you're bringing in with another competitor, but you want some help somewhere else, we don't have to replace everything. We want to be a long-term partner here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think my parting thoughts are just CBTS, why I feel, so humble to work here is that we keep investing into our partners, into our business, and the things that work. And what we know and what our partners should feel comfortable with is the investments there, and retail is a focus. So when you have a retail customer, you should feel free to say, hey, oh, that's right, CBTS is kind of an expert in the retail space. Beyond the standard services, they can go deep with me, but I can bring them an opportunity. We can talk about it. And if it's not a fit, they're okay with it because they're playing the long game. We just want to, because as we've done that in this space and made those investments, played the long game, it's served us well. And retail is going to be exactly on that same vein.
Yep. Fantastic. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you too for joining us here today. Another great quarter, and we'll keep at it in the channel, Rob.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you to all our partners.
Thank you.